and hopefully you're able to watch the first session we have. So yeah, so by God's grace, we're going to be having this. You're able to watch. Sorry, so by God's grace, we're going to be having. Sorry for that echo. So by God's grace, we're going to be having this, like you have seen in your emails, on Saturday, and then evenings, 8 p.m. and then on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Not make it possible, you would always know ahead of time, right? But that's how we're going to be having it, the meeting. So for the next 1 month or 2 months, and let's see, how much we can cover. So just to tell you basically what we're going to be doing in terms of this class. So let me upload a new chart here. Right. We're going to be basically going through the following. One, basically, go what is trading, what do you understand by trading, for what has been your experience, and all of that. We're going to be going through, the developing the right trading is not just about learning a strategy, learning about what it is, and then learning a strategy. It's also that this is something that can literally change your life. So if this is something that can really change someone's life, how developing that right mindset, and also taking away the wrong mindset that most people, which is, oh, I'm just going to come in here, I'm going to make a ton of money, I'm going to become this, I'm going to become that, and then way. So we're going to be spending time, of course, to develop the right mindset. We're going to be going into trade. Personally, myself, I'm not necessarily where I am, and I want to be. So for you too, this is also an opportunity, for you to begin to see what are the potentials, literally how far, you can go. And then we're going to be going through also like prop firms, companies that give people money to trade, right? What that simply means is now, I know how to trade and all of that, but I don't have money. Those times, because now you have a lot of money, in the market. You have a lot of prop firms. They call them prop firms. Money to trade, and we're going to see some of them shortly, right? Then we'll gradually now move into the technical aspects of trading, looking at currency size, what is leverage, and trading sessions and what all of those things mean, and even the plan here, like you see what I'm doing here. We're going to be going through all of this, so that you understand, some of the tools that are being utilized for trading and all. So for this morning session today, we're going to be laying that evening. Today, we're now going to gradually begin to move into the technical aspect of trading. And also, very necessary for us to build what we want to build. Now, that said, give me a sec. So now that said, when we talk about trading, what is trading really, right? Now, trading basically, it's, or forex trading particularly, because when you talk of trading, there are so many things. People trade indices, people trade, oil, people trade metals, different things that people trade, gold, and some other things, not necessarily forex trading. So what is really, trading itself? Now, trading is basically, the for forex trading particularly. Now, forex trading is simply just, so for example, here on the chart, as you can see here on my chart, this is, let me just take this out. Let me change this view so that we can use this kind of setup I normally use while I'm trading. Normally when I'm trading, I use 3 screens. By 3 screens, I don't necessarily mean I use like 3 computers. I just use 3 screens. Like this is one screen for me. This is another screen. There's some things also I'm going to sort of, break down for you. A lot of people think when you see traders, a lot of them, you see them with it's good, but at the end of the day, if you really know what you're doing, you don't even necessarily need all of that, jamboree going on. Anyway, so like 3 charts. I use this one, I use this one, and then I use this one. Now, when we talk about trading, what is trading, right? So in one currency, you're buying another currency. So here on the chart, for example, you can see this is a euro dollar. As you can see on the screen, this is euro dollar. So that's the euro dollar. What that means is that you're either buying the euro, selling the dollar, or you're buying the dollar and then what it means. So you're buying one currency and you're exchanging it for another currency. Now, give me a sec to get something here up. Now, with that, you get a sense or you have an understanding of, what trading is. So it's just simply changing one currency to the other. Now, this is something that right? That, people, over the years have been doing. However, because of technology, because of what we have now we can trade from any part of the world. Prior to this time, this was something that wasn't really possible. It was only people who were maybe and some of these places that could trade. But this is something now that is now available, for literally anyone with a computer or with browse. Now, that also presents some challenges because what that also means is that a lot of what they jump into, we just think, oh, there's a lot of money in trading, so I'll just jump into it. And then they jump in and then they get burnt. Everyone who has done trading, who has tried trading before, would tell that they got burnt. I have gotten burnt several times. That's just is part of the education. And my philosophy for this is you see a child that is run or walk without learning how to crawl and fall. So you shouldn't be afraid of falling if you really want to do anything, because and falling and rising again is the process that builds you into who you should become. So a child begins to walk simply because crawl and fall and stand up and stay standing up. So the same thing too, if you take that philosophy into anything you do. So when it comes to trading, some people, for example, come into trading and then they say, oh, I'm going to make a lot of money and blah, blah, blah. And then when they get away, I did that, a while back. I came into trading thinking, oh, I've learned so, and so I could put ABC together. And then, I will make a lot of money, and then I took money, came into the market and I burnt everything. And I so ran away from it. I said, I'll never I'm back to I'm back to it, right? So, but it happens to everyone and it's nothing strange. They say winners never quit and quitters never win. So if you're a quitter, definitely trade. If you easily quit when you're doing anything. But if you're somebody who says this thing can change my life, here and fall and fall and fall until I learn to stand like a child, and I can tell you 5 years, you'll be literally unrecognizable. And with the power of trading, this is something that you can do from any part of the world. When you learn it, you develop a skill that stays with you for life. I mentioned had the last class, I told, I mentioned that people go to university to go study, degrees, 4 years. Of times you come out of this, or after studying this degree, and then there is no job that can really pay you and make you satisfied. Living by literally. But with something like, with technology that we have today, it is now possible. I can literally take you from zero to hero. And that is the power of trading. It's so powerful and it's so amazing. It's in my opinion, it's a great privilege, that we're all here, that we even have the knowledge to be able to pursue something, in my opinion. So anyways, yeah, so trading, exchange of currencies, right? It has been here for a long, long, long time. Banks, this is what they do, right? And all of that. So, but this is something that we also now we have access to, right? So now let's talk about how to become a successful Forex trader. I've started mentioning some things, but let's just lay this foundation. This is important beyond anything. You will learn the strategy by God's grace. I'm going to be, and then of course, but let's lay this foundation because the mindset is at the end of the day, I mean, if you fail or if you succeed. Now, how do you become a successful trader? Number one, you have to learn about it, right? People all doing here. We want to learn about it. These are all just bars. You can see all of these things. These are all just bars. Actually, money moving everywhere. My dad used to say that there's money in the sky moving, right? And then that money, attract that money towards him. And trading is simply doing that because the trading says puts it at around $6 trillion being traded every day. Imagine 6 trillion. All you need to do is just to grab a little of that piece, right? A little of the pie and just attract that towards you. So all of this movement that you're seeing here, this is all just money moving around, but very few people have and the training to be able to make a profit of, all of these things happening here. So number one, you have to learn. Number two, you have to view trading as a business. There is no shortcut to it. You have the mindset of, I just want to do trading as a hobby, my dear, you most likely fail. It's a business. And when you talk about the business, this is what makes a business a business. A business takes losses. A business does month 1 or month 3 or month 4. They don't just shut down. When you sit as a business, you say, okay, this is free for me to build a structure, to build what I need to build so that in the next 5 years, I will be successful. Plan. A business does not say, oh, if I'm not successful in the next 1 year, I'm shutting off. A real business person. No, a business sees, lots or the necessary, things that that is crucial to building, that future for a success in the future. So you have to view trading that way. For you as an individual, view trading as a business. This is something I want to build in the next that one of the reasons why I decided to come back into trading was simply because who started trading when I was running away from trading. They started learning how. And when I looked at, the quality of, what they've been able to build, I could see that they were miles of, wealth in terms of resources, in terms of what they've been able to build. And I told myself, I had somebody who I could look up to that I saw that was actually trading and was profitable. Maybe I wouldn't have run away successful than I am today. So I decided, okay, this is something that is, worth my time. And this is something I'm willing to pour myself into. And I decided to get back into the business, not a hobby. That's just the truth. Then number 3, you have to practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. You become. There is no two way about it. If you've ever learned anything in life, you realize that again, you did not give up. If you had given up, you probably would have learned it. But because you didn't give up, you have to practice and practice and practice if you must become successful. And number 4, strategy and trading plan. Now we're going to be doing this, in the course of, this free mentorship class, how to develop plan. Most people who go into trading don't even know what a trading plan is. And a trading plan is something that they trade. I asked them, do you have a trading plan? If the person doesn't even have a trading plan, there's no need even having a discussion because that just tells me the person is simply really serious about what you're doing. So you must have a trading plan and a strategy. And then there's also something about people, begin to, they learn this, they learn that, they learn this, and they're learning so many things. Now, let me tell you the truth. There's Forex market, but you have to find one that works for you and stick with it. Now, in the course of this free mentorship, look at the market, how I trade the market day in, day out. And it didn't come because I just, hopped. Literally, I paid for two courses, but I've taken like 4 courses, but I found one that really suited me. And then I've been able to tailor it, and become my own, strategy and how I view the market and all of that. And that's basically, what I'll be revealing to you. So I believe, revealing, and it's going to be very, very simplified because I don't use indicators. I just use naked chart, and chart will, if that you it will make sense to you. I believe that. Then of course you have to work on your psychology. This thing at the end of the day, when you're done, anyways, you don't start working on your psychology until you even know what a trading plan is, until you know how to exit, how to enter the market, how to take profit. It's when all of those things are in place, you now really discover biggest things that can really stop you from growing as a trader. Now, you would never know you're greedy until you're impatient, until you start trading. That's when you begin to discover that, man, I'm really impatient, or I'm really just, maybe your target, your profit target was just $1,000, and you saw, oh, this thing can go to $5,000, or it can go to $10,000. And then the market now reverses on you, and what should have been a win now turns into a loss. You now begin to beat yourself blue black. Oh my God, I should have just taken that. And why? Because of greed, right? You never know you're greedy until you start trading. And any successful trader that you see, always very highly disciplined. And the reason is simple. They've been able to go through circles that have allowed them. They are very, very disciplined, and that is what one of the things, of course, we're going to be doing in this course. Then you have to focus on the process is very important. Profit will always come, right? If you stay at this thing, that's the truth. If you have to focus on the process. What is the process? Learn the strategy, master your psychology to the trading plan. All of that is the process. Your entry setup, your exit setup, you're not gambling. You're following the same thing over and over and over again. You're testing, you're following the same pattern over again. That is what is called, focusing on the process and not just profit. Profit is good, but it's the process that matters. If I give you $1,000, if you make a profit of $1,000, the same process that used to make a profit of $1,000, if I give you 200,000, you still make that same profit. It's rather the process that you have a strategy that works, you understand it, you can implement it, you can execute it. And if you're giving much more money, so you focus on the process and not profit, then you develop a rock solid, competence, right? Develop rock solid competence. Become a student of the market. You continue to learn, you continue to backtest every single day, right? To say, for you to become a successful, trader. Now, let's talk a little bit about, expectations, right? Now, expectations, the right expectations. Now, the truth about it is that trading, can make you super rich. To get back into it. Now, that is a fundamental truth. But another truth is that if you don't have the right expectations, you'll also be disappointed. And what I mean by that is that every retail trader who comes into trading always on the first amount of money, I'm going to make this amount of money. And I also did the same thing. That's the truth. If I show you my journal, why I normally journal, my expectation, writing profits, in terms of dollar value, what I was going to make, per month and all of that. Well, mindset of anyone who comes into trading, it is not bad, but it is also something that if you're not careful can hurt you. Process of learning, not necessarily the profit. The profit will come when you master, your own trade. So it's to focus on the process. So you have to manage expectations so that, if you have this having this target of blah, blah, blah. And then if it doesn't happen, then you become disappointed, we shouldn't be, right? Expectation. So you're going to be profitable, but don't be too rigid and say, I'm going to make this amount of money by so time. No, most traders will tell you like nothing less than, some will tell you 1 year, 2 years, 5 years before they're able to master their psychology, master their strategy, and all of that. And imagine if you can actually master a skill that one day you just sit down at home and then you make $1,000 within a it. Literally just think about that you have the capacity and you have a skill set that you can sit at home, chart for maybe like 10 minutes, and then you catch a trade that makes you $1,000. Just imagine that over and over and over again in a month. That is power. So if that is something that is so powerful, and understand that, hey, it is not just about the profit. The profit will come at some point, but I need to master this process. I need to, develop a rock solid understanding. So manage your expectations, manage, all of that. Now, when it comes to trading, number one is fallacy. Now, I want to believe while you're listening to this, you're taking. I wouldn't be sharing, of course, any slides because this is a practical mentorship program that we're going to be doing mainly on the chat. So, but for these things I'm mentioning, I want you to just take note of them. Make sure you're writing them, somewhere. Now, dealing with fallacies, lies. There is the gambler, something called the gambler's fallacy. Gambler, right? So gamblers, them. They go, to go for betting, right? In most parts of Africa, not just Africa, people watch football. They do a lot of betting. Some people maybe they have a way they used to do that to win and all of that, but that's just the gambler's fallacy. People go. All right. Now, this is something that, the odds, of course, when it comes to gambling is always 50-50 in all of that. Now, you must, of course, be able to overcome that in the sense that you must not view trading as, gambling. And I've mentioned this before. You must view trading as a business. Will take losses, right? A business also sometimes will also, succeed based on luck, but and you must not view trading that way, like you're going to gambling or it's, you're just gambling money. There are processes, and systems that allow you to have some edge, over things. They're gonna start making a lot of money in the next few weeks or something like that. So, that. Then there's also something called my turn fallacy. People who believe that, because done this and done that, now it is my own turn, to make money. It is my own turn to do this, my own turn to do that. In trading, from your thought process, there's nothing like it's my turn. It's to make money. The market does not owe. All these candlesticks you see moving around here doesn't know who you are. They don't. It doesn't even care who you are. Doesn't know anything. Then if you try trading before, immediately take a loss, will be like, oh, no. Some market makers, when nothing like that. Nobody cares about you. Nobody in the market, anywhere. It's no cares really. Of course, there are people who have a lot of money, maybe big banks or big hedge funds and all of that. It moves the market. But aside that, you don't really have somebody who's always, watching your back, waiting for you to enter and then the trade. Anyway, so that's that, right? Then there's also something called the winning streak fallacy. Now, some persons that if you're not careful too, by the time you learn and you really understand what you're doing, you become too overconfident. Right. So the winning streak fallacy, you've had a lot of wins and then you just feel like you'll continue to win forever. That is something that also you have to watch for. Then, yeah. So I think that's that on that, right? How healthy can you become when you begin to trade? Now, I'm just going to draw something here. Now I believe you can see my screen. I have this tool here I always use. Yeah. So this box here, and let me draw Pull that to the side and make this like this. Let me make this one smaller. Now, when you look at, let me say here you have, let me say you have $1,000, right? Now, let me say this is $1,000, right? And then let's say you now have here, this one here, let's 400,000. No, let me even just make it lower. Let me just say 200,000, right? Good. Now, if you make 10% of the house, 10% of 1,000, I guess, you know that, right? It's $100, right? So that would be $100. So if we put dollars, so you make 10%, that's $100. Now, if you make 10% of 200,000, what did I just do there? That would be $20,000. So let's put that here. So let's say $1,000 mark, right? Now, what do you see here? How wealthy can you become? That's what I'm talking about. Now, let's assume you had $1,000, okay? And you had, take that $1,000 and put that $1,000 into trading the market. Now, what happens? Let's assume you had the skill set to make 10%. And on this, your $1,000. What you have at the end of the month is $100. Now, $100 can be a lot of money for different people, depending on where you are. Now, $100, it's what you make 10% of 1,000, because this is your money. Maybe you could have, which a lot of people may not even be able to afford. But now, with prop firms, right, like I mentioned again, let me correct this. With prop firms, you can actually get, for example, 200 with this $1,000, and then if you make a 10% profit on 200,000, that means that $80,000 as your profit. The same skill set that you use to make $100 with your own skill set that you apply on the $200,000 and make $20,000. Now, this is the power. Now, this just simply tells you that the profit itself is not really the thing, is the process. Do you have a process of making 10% on any amount of money? So you can really become rich and have, and also on the skill set that you're able to develop. And that is why, so with this, you're able to, picture or imagine that, okay, this amount of money, the same skill set, $100, this amount of money, the same skill set, 20, with trading, right? So when it comes to trading, you can really become rich, but at the same time also now is to drive home the message that currently in trading, you don't have to risk your own money, right? That simply means you begin to think, oh, at the end of the day, I need to have like $1,000 to start trading. No, you don't even need up to that. And I'm going to show you, an example of prop firms, and how they work, and, how you can how to, access this resources and begin to use it for your own, benefit, right? So now, become rich, but at the same time, Forex, like I used to say, I always like to mention this, that Forex also at the same time is not a lot of people mistaken this. They think that Forex, it's a get rich quick scheme. And that is why lots of people, fail, because they have the wrong mindset. So anything that is worth 4, 5, 7 years to get a university degree, and you come out and you're looking for a job, how about really transform your life? Literally, they can make you a multi-millionaire. And then you just want to spend, maybe just a few months in, and now I'm going to become a millionaire. No. So think long-term. Think, I'm going to give this thing 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and I'm going to be patient with. When I just master this skill, I'm done. I'm literally done. You're really literally set up for life. That's the truth. So if you have that long-term mindset, that can be at the point where I can Now, just think about how that is going to change your life, literally, right? So you must understand that Forex is not a get rich, but it is not a get rich quick scheme, right? Now, another thing too is Forex is not for, this is very important. If you're in debt, you don't borrow people. I've already mentioned, of course, you don't even need to risk your money, but some people go the route of borrowing people's money and say, hey, I want to trade Forex. I've learned this thing. Now, can you borrow me so and so amount of money? I want to put it in the market. My dear, don't even think about that. Don't even do that. So you don't, if you're in debt, right? That's super important. Now, so that is that. Traders, all traders, any successful trader lose money at some point. That's also very important to understand. Successful traders will tell you that they lost money at some point. Anybody who tells you that, oh, they just started learning and then they started making a lot of profits, I can tell you straight up, it's a lie. That at some point, lose money. Now, I did mention that capital, of course, is not the issue. Some prop firms, and also how, they work, so that we just lay this foundation, the near future. Now, I'm just going to open, let me open a tab, screen, just a sec. Let me get this up. Okay. I'm going to do this together. I'm not sharing my screen yet. I'm not sharing this screen. So let me share this screen. Screen. Okay, cool. Am I there? Yeah. All right, cool. So I believe you can see this. Now, I just did something on Google, right? Prop firms with instant, some well-known prop firm list. And you can see some of the lists here. Now, not all prop firms are what they say they are, or have, the years of what's now, in terms of reviews and all of that. So you also have to be careful. But we'll get to this. This is not for you to do now. This is just something for you to be aware of your money to trade. Now, let's start with FTMO. FTMO happens to be one of the most popular ones at my Forex funds. So let's go to FTMO so you see what it's like. Yes. So let's just introduce you to what funding is like. Now, this morning section, like I said, we're laying the foundation. And then, the next details, on trading, basically, how I even use trading view, what it's like, the tools basically for trading. So that you have a clear goal in mind, so you know that you're pursuing something, right? And then you can look forward to it. Okay, so here we are. So this is FTM of the foremost trading firms, prop firms that actually changed trading for a lot of traders. And let me also tell you, I think one of the reasons why I also decided to get back into trading, I don't have to risk my own personal money, but I can actually get funded by firms like this and make a profit, and then basically, make a profit and basically live off their own capital. That's the guy. So that's basically who they are. So you can see Forex traders wanted. Now, this is a very attractive thing, right? Forex traders wanted. That's true. But Forex, most people who try, prop firm challenges fail. That's the truth. So if you don't have the right skill and you've not really tested it and you've not back tested it, if you just jump in to say, oh, because now there's money, I can just get the money and start trading, you most likely fail. So it's very important to look at what they say here. They say you trade our company's capital, you receive up to 90% of profit, and we cover the losses. And what does this mean? The other time I showed you what you can make. If, for example, you're trading $200,000 and you make 10%, that's $20,000. What that means is that if you make $20,000, they would take 10% and you would take 90%. That's amazing, right? And that's really something. That's really something. So 20%, 90% of $20,000 would be like $18,000. They would keep $2,000, and it's not your money. You're trading their own money, right? You're following their rules and all of that. So this is FTMO. Now they have a challenge. They have a free trial that you normally use. They have, they've paid so far based on their track record over $85 million. They've paid to their traders. And of course, they also get money from private investors that give them money because they know they have a system that works, and they make returns to their investors. They also pay traders who are able to use their funds and make a profit. So that's that. So let me show you how it works. So this is how it normally works. They normally have an evaluation process. So you normally have the challenge. As you can see here, they'll have the FTMO challenge. That simply means when you get the account, you have to pass the challenge. You make maybe like 10%. If you make 10% or whatever it is that they give you, then you go to the verification stage. And then the verification stage, they're basically evaluating your trading skill set. And then on the verification stage, you make like 5%. And then if you succeed, then you become their trader. And then at this stage, you can now earn real money, right? So this is how it works. So this is something you need to look up to. Now let's look at example. What does it look like? What does it look like, right? So here we have this. So you can see here, this is how it works. So let's say, for example, you want to trade the US dollars. You want to get a US dollar account. So you click on this normal risk. Let's even say you're starting with a $10,000. Now, you may not have $10,000 as personal money to put in the market, but with FTMO, for example, you can get $10,000, right? And all you need to pay is just about, what is it? See here. Okay, yes, yes. So look at this, 155. I think this is euro, right? So you pay 155 euro to get a $10,000 account to trade. Now, this is something that you may not necessarily have. Even if you have $10,000, you definitely don't want to risk your own money, right? So, but you can get this amount of money for this amount of money and then trade the market. And if you make 10% of $10,000, that's $1,000 per month. Already, that's a lot for some people, right? So, and with this, that simply tells you, and then you can get up to $200,000. So $200,000, about 1,080 euro, and then you get $200,000. So you're putting in a little money to get this account. And if you're good and you know what you're doing and you make a profit, they'll refund this money for you. So the step one is a challenge. You have 30 days to make 10%, and then you have 10 trading days minimum. The maximum loss, you shouldn't lose more than 10,000. Of course, if you're giving 200,000, you shouldn't lose more than 10,000, right? It only makes sense because they're also giving investors money, so they have to also protect their capital. And if you lose this amount of money, that means you also lose your $1,000 that you risk, right? And they also, of course, take the loss. But for them too, it's part of business, because at the end of the day, they have profitable traders that will make a profit that cover their losses. So yeah, and then you have a maximum loss, of course, of 20,000. You have a profit target of 10%, which is just which is this 20,000. Then if you scale this challenge one, you normally be taken to challenge two. You have 60 days to make 5%, longer time to make lower, just about half what you made in the challenge phase. And then of course it's free. Then if you now become their trader and you succeed, your first payout, let's say you make 10% of whatever amount of money, you'll also be refunded what you paid as your application fee. Now, that is impressive. That is amazing. But the truth is that most people who jump on this don't have the skill set to become traders, and therefore they lose whatever amount of money they used to apply in the first place. So for you, you'll have to start, of course, small, but not even this at this time. I'm going to show you another one. So, but this is just to give you an overview of how this prop firms basically work. Now another one I want to show you is my Forex funds. Now this is just to show you that there's abundance of money. The question is, do you have what it takes to get this? Do you have what it takes to become the next successful Forex trader? So yeah, so now for my Forex funds, you can see these guys, they have, they even have $5,000 account, and then the highest they have is 300,000. Now the $5,000 account, you only need to pay $49 to get $5,000. Now, you may not necessarily have that $5,000 of your own money to put and trade, or you may not even want to do that even if you have it, because you're risking your whole money. If you lose the $5,000, what happens? But then if you just pay $49, that means if you lose the $5,000 account, it doesn't matter. It was $49 you lost, right? So you can afford to bounce back So, and that is what prop firms provide for you and for us. So here you have two phases. For them, you just need to make 8% in the first phase and then 5% in the second phase. And they are also great because you have so many people who, of course, have used them over the years. So this is basically how prop funding firms work. So depending on the account you want to get, you can see how much it is, right? You have to pay to get that account. And let me also say, now, when you look at this, most people, of course, will always want to jump to big account because it's attractive, but you can always start small. If you make a profit of the small account, then you can use your profit to buy bigger accounts, right? And then you can grow gradually. Now, with this said, basically, I believe for those of you who are not aware, you now have an understanding on how prop firms work, that the money is there waiting for you if you have the patience and you have, the discipline to develop the right mindset, to develop the skill set, and to build yourself to get to a level where you can access this kind of funding and then, trade it and make a profit and literally change your life, right? So that said, I just want to highlight only these two for now, because they have years and years of, experience, or years they've been in the business for a long time, and people have really, continue to use them. I've also used them, so I can talk about them. So yeah, so this is the goal, right? And you can have this. This is something that you can have to your own name. Here you have to develop the skill set, right? So I think with this, we've been able to lay, the potentials and also where we're going, what we're doing, with respect to trading. And now you can see the goal, where we're going to, what it can become. Now, the next thing we now do is that if you can see the goal, far ahead, back and now say, okay, this is real. I can become this. Now I need to sit down and develop my strategy, understand this thing, and be patient with myself until I succeed. You will not be disappointed, right? Because you're not in a rush. And that's one thing. You don't need to be in a rush to make relax. The money is there. If you have the skill set, you make the money. So you need to put in the work. You need to put the hours of work. A lot of people give up, but I hope you wouldn't be among those who give up. Sadly, I believe from this free mentorship, a lot of you, there'll be those who in the next 2 years, will become really, really successful. Those who quit, unfortunately, will be able to look at them and say, hey, we started together, but I quit, I ran away. And that would be unfortunate. So see the goal. I've shown you that prop firms give money. You have the money there. You can access the money, but you need the skill set. You now need to relax and say, okay, what do I really need to do? How serious should I take these classes that we're going to be having? How, discipline, learning all that needs to be learned. Now, I'm teaching all of this for free. But I can tell you that I've spent, of course, a few thousand to be able to get the education that I've been able to get. And I'm sharing this with you for free because I know this can really be life-changing and can really transform that of your family and everyone connected to you in the few years ahead of us. So yeah, so that's it. So for today, I believe we'll be able to lay the foundation and also do justice to the class. From tomorrow, no, so I say from sorry. We're going to begin to look at, currency pairs, PEEP. What is a PEEP? For those of us who don't know what is PEEP, what are PEEPs? What are lot sizes? Technical and fundamental analysis. And then, yeah, we'll begin to look at, some of tools that I use, for example, for trading. This is called Trading View. How does it work? What are the time frames? What time frames do I use? Down below here, how do I use them? How do I chart my market? How do you even, do you even need to pay for this, or do you need a subscription service? Paruto Capital is a paid plan, but you don't need to pay for the one you're going to be using. So we're going to be going through all of that, and we're going to be laying all of that foundation. So I want to believe you picked a thing or two from today's morning class. So we'll be, closing the curtain here. I want to say thank you so much for attending the session. You won't be able to ask questions now. But later this evening, I'll open the floor when we'll begin to go into some of the details, and then you'll be able to ask, interact. So thank you so much for coming. If you have any questions, you can just type. If not, I think this is a good place to say, do have a lovely morning and enjoy your Saturday. All right. Sorry, before you go, for the meeting in the evening, we're still going to be meeting here on this channel. If there's any change, you get it in your email, but we're still going to be meeting here for the evening class, right? And then you're going to receive the invite to, for the evening class. So see you and enjoy your day. Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks.